Hey, it's Pete Hartwig here. I'm doing a collaboration with Muscle Talks today. For those of you who have not been following me for very long, I'll just give you a quick background on myself. I'm an IFBB pro athlete, a exercise physiologist. I've been coaching for almost 18 years. I have competed myself in 40 competitions. Some of the highlights of my career have been winning 2 world titles, one in open bodybuilding with INBA, one in classic physique with PNBA. I've also won Arnold's lightweight men's twice and also winning my IFBB pro card in 2020. My specialty is aesthetic posing coaching and contest prep, specifically in classic physique. I love the classic style of posing, and that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can make your posing a lot more classic. So just going to set this up here and get straight into it. Okay. So tip number 1. Just going to get down so I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Tip number 1 is changing your stance and your hip angle to make the pose a little bit more aesthetically pleasing and a bit more classic. So from your typical bodybuilding pose, you'll start off in this position with an anterior pelvic tilt, knees bent, and then into this position here. And then if we're going to hit a front double bicep just from a bodybuilding style like this, I'm going to show you how you can make that a little bit more classic. So first of all, what I like to do is adjust the feet position. So starting with my heels together in a V shape, I will move one leg out a couple of inches, and then I'll rotate my hips to the opposite side. So my belly button is pointed off the center line in this direction. Now from here, you can see that type of shape that it's creating already. Then from there, with that hip angle and feet position, I'm going to be able to create a much nicer classic position. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, always keep your midsection tight. So when you're hitting in this position here, you don't want to relax through the midsection. You also, I think it's beneficial to hit a vacuum. So I like a full vacuum or a half vacuum. So if I'm trying to crunch down on my abs, you can see I get a lot of definition through the midsection, but it kind of makes me a little bit more blocky. And because I'm pulling in on the diaphragm, my lats and rib cage can't expand as much. Whereas if I pull in and up, I can open the rib cage more. So hitting a half vacuum here, I can pull in and up and create a much nicer shape. And then if I want to hit a full vacuum, it creates that real classic and old school look. Okay, tip number 3 is making your transition really smooth. So a lot of times I'll see people hit their transitions, and first of all, they'll go from their front symmetry, call a front double bicep, and they'll look straight down at their feet, reposition where they need to be, then they'll look up nervously, and then go to move across into that position and then hit the pose. What we want to do is always convey confidence on stage. So no looking down at your feet, and also making that transition smooth by keeping your transitional movement very smooth and flowing at the same tempo like you're moving through water, and then deliberately picking the points where you want to be stiff, where you want to be rigid. You don't want to be rigid and stiff through the transition. You want to be very tense, very firm at the end of the pose, and then when you're moving between, you want to be able to just move the hips and move everything nice and fluid. A lot of that will come down to practice, so you can drill it into your muscle memory. So I'll give you a quick example of that. So first of all, moving from that front symmetry, just want to release that pose. Notice how my hands are nice and soft, and I'll just set up into this position. I'm going to move and guide gently into that position. I'll squeeze here to show off a bit of definition through the abs, chest, and triceps. Then I go back to smooth again, opening up, flaring into that position, and now tight again. Okay, so those are 3 tips for how to make your posing a little bit more classic. I hope you have found value in this video. Again, this is a collaboration with Muscle Talks, and I'm Pete Hartwig. You can find more information about me at my website, petehartwig.com or petehartwig.com.au. And you can book sessions directly with me to learn more about posing here at Elite Physiques in Southport on the Gold Coast. And also, I do online coaching. So if you're outside of Queensland, you can book me anywhere in the world. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.